Lawin Media Network,
bringing to you the most relevant content across all platforms.
business, legal, politics, health, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Your source for all the news and updates in the greater Houston community from Texas and all over the world.
Get informed and empowered with Lawin Media Network.
Good evening and welcome to the Biztalk, brought to you by the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce, Texas Greater Houston Region, and produced by Lawin Media Network. My name is Bobby Reyes.
And I am Tess Tuazon. Magandang araw po sa mga nanonood sa Pilipinas. At nandito na naman po kami for our Thursday episode of Biztalk.
Yeah, can you believe it's been 2 weeks?
2 weeks na.
Since our first show, and this is our second show.
For this year, yeah.
Yeah. So we'd like to give you an update on everything that, not everything, but some events that our chamber has been involved with in the last few weeks. Was it 2 weeks ago? I think it was May 3rd. We attended the Philippine Nurses Association of Metropolitan Houston annual Scholarship and Awards Night. And I'm proud to say that one of the awardees is a good friend of mine, Maureen Ramos. These are outstanding Filipino nurses in Houston, and they provide awards to nurses and scholarships to nursing students. And Tess and I were there. It was a very nice event.
Yeah, Houston has the biggest medical center in the world. So just imagine the medical center. How many hospitals? About 44?
At least.
Without Filipino nurses, man, it's not going to work. So I salute all the nurses and all the medical personnel in the greater Houston area.
Yeah, and a shout out to one of the members of our board, Elisa Espinosa. She's a past president of PNAMH, and she was instrumental in sending the invitation to our chamber for us to attend. And there was, at least there was 10 of us, right?
We had a table.
Yeah, we had a table. Of course, there was the awards, there was dancing. The Consul General of the Philippines was there, Consul General Gunter Emil Sales, and Vice Consul Tanya Gaurano.
And his staff.
Yes.
And those events are like mini reunions. There are people who come out just for this special event. So that's the only time you will see them all dressed up to the nines. And I've also seen a lot of those retired nurses that we both know. We're getting up there.
We've been here long enough. We know a lot of them.
We know those people. We've been in the community for a while. And the other one, just recently this past weekend, was the Pamana event, sponsored by the PCCI.
People Caring for the Community, Inc. It was held at the Philippine Community Center here in Houston. I don't know if a lot of people knew that, but we do have a Philippine Community Center here in Houston, and the event is an annual event that celebrates Philippine culture in association with Asian Pacific and there's a new name. I still call it by the old name, the Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. It's now, I believe, Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And it's during the month of May, throughout the entire United States, it's a celebration of Asian culture. And so we had our very own Region Chair, Margarita Trong, attended that event on our behalf. And they had talent shows, and I believe they also had an adobo competition.
Cooking shows and singing and dancing, the usual great stuff that makes a fiesta very very festive.
Yeah, and it's not a
So-
Filipino party without the todo. You know that, right?
You got to
And-
dance the night away.
Yeah, and also at the PNA MH event, it was nice. As Tess was saying, it was nice to see all our friends. And these events that we have in the Houston area, it's always almost always a reunion, and you will always see people that we have known through the years.
Yeah.
And it's also nice to meet new people.
And new people and new sponsors.
Mhm.
The sponsor for that event was Skin 105.
One of our new members.
Yes.
And tell us about that business
Well,
just a little bit.
it's a medical spa, so I have to go there one of these days and experience what it feels like to be pampered. So
Well-
you're coming with me.
Oh, I am.
Yes.
Are you paying?
Yes,
I got that on camera. She's paying.
I'm paying.
So
Yeah.
anyway, part of the show we will be bringing you highlights of events that we've attended. When the show's not here, but we'd just like to make you aware of what's happening around Houston, and so we'll tell them later on what's upcoming. Towards the end of the show, we'll tell them what to
And
expect.
for tonight, we have a special guest.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We know this guy.
Yeah.
But we'll introduce him when the time comes. I think let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we will bring our guest in.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories. From elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits, I am here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
Hello po dyan sa mga taga-Texas. Nandyan po kami ni Desa sa June 14 at meron po kaming show sa Gaylord Texan Resort and Convention Center on June 14. So, nandyan po ang mga detalye below sa ating poster and I hope to see you soon, guys. See you sa June 14.
And we're back, and we're proud to introduce our guest for today.
Our chamber member, Mr. Zedrick Buhay, the Chief Operations Officer of IPR Healthcare System Inc. And
Yeah, thank
we're
you
so
very
happy
much.
to have you back.
Yes,
Yeah.
back with you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bobby and Tess, for having me again. Glad to be here. I'm glad to offer seeing what's been going on. I guess it's been a year or so.
Yeah.
So,
And so one of the things that we want to achieve in this show is to essentially share stories.
mhm.
And so we'd like to share your story. So maybe give us a little bit of your family background, maybe where you went to school, and just a little bit.
Sure. So some information. I actually came here when I was 6, and born in the Philippines, of course, and have all my family ties still back home. A lot of cousins living back home in the Philippines, but came here in Houston when I was 6, and really we have stayed in Houston since then. It's funny. I just fell in love in Houston. The moment we came here, I remember coming down in the airplane, looking all the lights, and then really just the awe with how big the city was. And it was also the same year that the Houston Rockets won their first championship.
Oh yeah.
So that was exciting. And then I always thought that, you know what, Rockets. I'm a huge Rockets fan, and we're going to win the championship every year after that. And we're still waiting now. So we're still waiting for that
No,
time.
but they won 2 in a row, right? Was it 2
they
years
did.
in a row?
Yeah,
That was-
they did. Yeah.
those
So
were
we're
the
still
days.
waiting on that.
Yes. Ever since, so we're still waiting after those 2 years.
No, but this year they almost made it.
almost.
But hey,
yeah.
it's good to get there, though.
Yeah. So we really have strong ties now. Built my entire life now here in Houston. Have my family now here in Houston. So just indebted to the city. And as far as my family, grew up with loving parents. Had 2 siblings, 2 younger brothers. my father, who maybe some may actually know, is Deacon Charlie Buhay.
Yes, we know him.
And so so he's definitely around with the Filipino community and just the Houston community itself, just giving back. And since then, went to school at University of St. Thomas and alma mater for Santo Tomas. And actually, my mother went to St. Thomas back in the Philippines.
So
definitely.
Just has to have that Tomas in there.
Oh yeah.
Including Mang Tomas.
We were just talking about lechon earlier.
Yeah, we were. I heard that I don't know if it's still banned or they stopped selling that. Or is that
They're
sure.
back.
Yeah.
They just had to
relabel.
relabel. The label
Is it
had to-
relabeling or
Okay.
tweak the formula?
A little-
Wasn't it?
Okay, yeah.
Something about
They
the
fi-
formulation.
They finally caught up with the Filipino thing.
Yeah,
So
the secret sauce, you know.
secret sauce.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I guess that leads towards what I'm doing right now. Is, where
What was your
healthcare.
major in college?
So my major, I have accounting and finance degree, and
Okay.
then I have a master's in administration. But I've worked in healthcare in majority of my work career. So
We're the same.
yeah.
Hey,
So,
before that, where'd you go? High school.
high school.
Don't skip that.
So the high school. So I went to Austin High School for 2 years, and after that went to George Bush High School. It was actually a new school at the time.
Oh yeah, that's
in
Where
Fort
is
Bend.
that?
Fort
Fort
Bend. Fort Bend.
Oh,
there,
Fort
yeah,
Bend.
yeah,
Okay.
Fort Bend there,
1044 or 10?
1464.
1464.
Yeah.
I know it's somewhere.
So you've always lived in the
FM
Fort Bend area. You've always been
Yeah,
in.
Sugar Land, Fort Bend area.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then now, I guess, in Beltway, I guess, in the city. When at least we stayed close together for a while.
Yeah, I know. We lived in houses close to each other near downtown Houston,
Yeah.
and so we shared a parish church for a while,
Right.
the Co-Cathedral of the Sacred Heart in downtown Houston.
Don't skip something. I know something about these kids.
So
High
she
school-
knows the stories.
Who's your high school sweetheart?
So in Austin High School, that's where I met my beautiful wife, now mother of our two lovely, sweet boys, for the most part.
Yeah.
And that's Myra Buhay.
Hey, Myra.
Hopefully she's watching, and if she is, hi. And I'm sure the boys are acting crazy somewhere in the background.
No, they're eating dinner right now.
That's right.
I made sure.
That's right. Thank you for doing that too with us.
And so your wife Myra, what are the names of your two kids?
Yes, Zayden and Zion are the two boys. Actually, the oldest just finished his baseball season and loving baseball, and it's kind of getting used to the whole sports, team sports. He's also
Okay.
doing jiu-jitsu, so very proud of him
They're
doing all that.
busy.
So they are busy. They're definitely busy. So
And that little kid is also a Tesla enthusiast. The very first Tesla Cybertruck I've seen on the road is his. The the kid's Cybertruck.
Yeah, you have the little one.
we do have the little one. Yeah.
That little truck can
It can zoom.
run,
Yeah.
can zoom.
So it's obviously battery powered too,
It
right?
is,
Like the
it
big
is.
Oh,
Tesla,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
the big Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Yeah, the baby had his first before the daddy got his.
You tested it first. That's
exactly.
what you did, right?
Yeah, I wanted to make sure he liked it. So so that little truck that definitely goes around the block multiple times.
Yeah, so maybe one day we'll see it on down the street
I'm
here.
sure. Yeah, many times during the week.
So before we go to break, give us a little background on IPR and
Yeah.
talk about the other company you
Yeah.
have, Mercury.
Yeah. So IPR Healthcare is our home health and hospice company. The company started. The company started back in 1996, and I worked there when I was in high school, and then after that left and went to St. Thomas, finished out my school over there, and then worked in public accounting at PricewaterhouseCoopers for
So are
several
you a
years.
CPA?
No, not a CPA.
Okay.
Not a CPA. Actually, being senior was required to be a CPA. It was not required at first, but then they changed it. So then I was going to sit for the CPA, and then that's when my current partner and also owner of IPR, actually the founder of IPR, majority owner of IPR, Pabst Paluskas, called me back to join the team. So now I'm partnered, one of the partners with IPR, and also have a pharmaceutical research company, and also part owner of that as well with PABS, Mercury Clinical Research. And then third thing, it's more just something that I personally enjoy and just health and wellness is Buhay Health and Wellness, which is a mobile IV for health and wellness. So those are the three things that I'm kind of, not kind of, I guess I am juggling on a daily basis. So.
And you still find time to be with us today. That's a good thing, right?
Oh yeah. Always have time for you guys, especially hanging out with you, Tess.
And should we share that? Of course, our resident chef here also cooked a really good dinner, so we're looking forward to it afterwards.
Yeah, always.
You know,
I know how to lure the fish. You need a bait.
Yeah.
I know his favorite food. So
Well, you still don't know mine. You still have to figure it out. I haven't told you.
yeah,
It's not the adobo that you cook?
No,
Yeah.
I don't. See,
it's the menudo.
so here's something that I'm going to tell people. I cook. I don't like to eat my cooking. I like to eat other people's cooking. I don't know why, but it's just the way it is. But I will taste my cooking, but that's it. And I will eat a little bit. And shout out to Attorney Eileen. She loves my adobo. So one of these days I will cook it again for you. So don't worry.
I told her to come visit. I still have your adobo in the freezer.
Oh, see, there you go. So let's go ahead and take another break, and we'll come back and dig deeper into his company's IPR and Mercury.
We will be back.
All right. See you guys soon. Thank you.
Join us for a captivating new series where Lawin sits down with the trailblazers of the music and entertainment world. Discover the stories behind the faces and voices that shape our culture and community.
We will bring you exclusive interviews with industry legends and rising stars. Behind the scenes insights and get a peek into the creative processes and personal journeys. Artists and performers and their upcoming shows and events.
Stay tuned for more updates and sneak peeks. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel.
And we're back
We're
with
back.
guest Zedrick Buhay, and we will dig deeper into your companies because isn't it true that demographics-wise we're an aging population?
Oh, absolutely.
So
the boomer age is definitely
we're boomers.
Yeah, getting into
We're
it
boomers.
right now, yeah.
You're not.
I don't know about yourself.
Not
you,
yet.
you look very, very young.
Oh no, well thank you. No, I'm actually okay. I have to admit this now on air. I'm actually at the tail end of the baby boomer generation.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I can count myself as one of the final whatever the I'm looking at the bell curve. I'm looking at I'm at the outlier part.
You're still in the boom.
Yeah, I was still part of the boom. Part of the boom, if that was such a thing in the Philippines.
Any part of the boom. That's funny. But no, definitely the population is definitely aging right now, and at IPR we're definitely here to serve the aging population, and not just the geriatric population, but even just individuals that go through surgery. Right now. Anyone that has go through stroke or heart transplant, and really post COVID, I think the attention got put on, or the light got put on home services, or mobile services, or home services, home care. Of course, with IPR, we've always done home care. That's always what we've been doing. But because of COVID, there's more attention to it, and nobody really wants to stay in a hospital for a long time, and as much as the hospital can definitely do quite a bit to help, provide care for patients, individuals, everyone wants to be at home, So we strive to provide those services as much as possible. And, 20 years ago, the services were not as, it was much more limited than what we can do now. Now post-stroke, post-heart transplant, individuals with pain pumps, cancer oncology. We have skilled services, skilled nurses that can go out and do specialized wound care that can handle anything post surgery that many couldn't do just 5, 6, 7 years ago before COVID. So that's what we do in IPR, and we definitely provide those skilled nursing services, physical therapy to help with the mobility for patients, and really just as much as possible, the sky's the limit is what we do on home health.
So are you on ongoing hiring?
Yeah. So as far as IPR, we're always expanding our service area and really trying to grow in the greater Houston area. We have locations in Kingwood, Texas, and Baytown, Texas, and of course in the medical center in Houston. We're just continuing to grow from there. So but we serve from down south to Galveston, all the way to Livingston, to Sealy, all the way to. We don't go to Beaumont quite. We did in the past, but we stopped. But let's say Crosby or Baytown, we'll go over there.
So there's you have a geographic area that you support.
Yes.
You provide services for. So what I was going to bring up was, so we also have viewers from the Philippines.
Okay.
I think, and you tell me if my observation is accurate. I think it's different here because in the Philippines, when you have an aging family member, the care of them.
Right.
They stay at home practically until they pass away. But it's a different culture that we provide services to our family members who are aging. Here in the United States, it's not the same. So that's why we do have to provide caregiver services.
Yeah, exactly. Caregiver services, we call them sitter services over here. And the funny thing you mentioned that, Bobby, because we have home care right now. We provide home health care, and our hospice services, we actually started doing that only about 6 years ago.
Oh, so it's fairly new.
So it's fairly new compared to the home health, which is over 20 years. And we started hospice because a lot of our patients and their families, unfortunately, some of the patients decline, and they would ask us, hey, do you guys do hospice? And we said no, we don't. And unfortunately, at the time, and they were kind of disappointed because they really enjoyed their nurses. We built a rapport, we built a relationship with them. So we decided, at that time, let's go ahead and start hospice. And when we started hospice, my initial thought was it's going to be fairly similar to home health, and I was totally wrong. Totally wrong, and just the requirements for hospice, and it's very, very gratifying. That's the first thing I'll say. Just being able to help, and as a Filipino, and for those, I guess, Filipino viewers, I think it's just innate for Filipinos to want to help. It's that very service oriented. You asked me what I did, and I for school, and I was in business. But I still lean to something where I'm helping, So and I think that's just innate in the Filipino culture, how we were brought up to be able to help, to serve others. And unfortunately, I guess I'm just not a nurse, but still helping in that similar capacity in healthcare. But it's such a gratifying thing to be able to help in hospice. And again, going back to the Filipino viewers, it's a little bit different from the Philippine angle because, like you said, there's family that's helping out. But here, the American culture, and this, unfortunately, it's just the truth. It's not as family knit and family tied. So, and again, it's very gratifying. We are able to help bring the family together. I know we're a home health agency or hospice agency, but we're really more than that. And we're really many times.
Sometimes you become the family.
Many times we're
even though you're not supposed to, right? You're supposed to keep objective, stay objective, but you can't.
You can't help it.
We're caring people. We just can't
help it.
shut it off,
And we have chaplain services, we have social work services, community services, and outreach. So just being able to help them and provide those services and just different things around the city that they would never know about. So.
How about those Filipinos who have decided to retire in the Philippines? They want to go to a home health care place, but they want to do it in the Philippines.
Do you think they have? Do you know if they have that?
So we actually, So I do have family.
But before we go there, I think what we need to do is we need to define what hospice care is. Because some people get confused. What is hospice care?
Actually, I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah.
So home health is just for home health and hospice. So home health is to really bring somebody back to their independent. Get somebody who, let's say, just had a stroke. But before they had a stroke, they were running, walking, doing marathons
So you
and
do
whatnot.
the PT and the OT and
do
all
PT
of that
to get them back to where they are. Hospice, the term for hospice is really identifying an individual that has a terminal illness and specifically 6 months or less to live is what they say. And so for the most part, it's someone with cancer, let's say, oncology patient, and just doesn't have, I guess there's a term for how long that they expect to be to live, but also just individuals that have, let's say, COPD or let's say CHF, chronic heart failure. A lot of those individuals, there's on so many medications, and they
or
just
like you said, a stroke victim,
or a stroke, potentially a stroke as well, just depending on the severity of the stroke. And what hospice does is really provide that comforting care. Is where basically it's not there to treat the disease anymore, but we're there to help the family, help them cope, as they are ready to potentially pass on, to go. And so we're really able to provide those different services, community services, social work services, chaplain services, and again, just bringing the family together. And today, in today's, I guess, society, in American society, many people are living by themselves, or they haven't seen their kids in 5 years, 15 years, 20 years. So we bring them together, and it's an amazing, gratifying feeling to be able to do that. And during their last few months or weeks, and actually surprisingly, we say 6 months. Many of our patients, oncology patients, and you're familiar with this. You stop the chemo, and they say that you have about 6 months to live or 4 months to live, and then before you know it, it's a year and a half. And it's amazing, and that that's just the cherry on top, because they only expected to live 4 more months, but yet they have that extra time. So, and because of that extra time, we brought the family in. They're spending time, and it's really a gratifying feeling. And sometimes it depends if, of course, we get consent if they're able to or they want to. People record videos and do this and do that. I mean, it's just an amazing thing that we do.
Well, the thing too is,
and our nurses and our staff.
I think that a main difference as well is we don't have, for lack of a better term, we don't have maids here like in the Philippines.
Right.
So the family members will not have time to take care of their sickly family member.
Right.
So you're right. You do bring them together. Give them time to do what they need to do during work, and give them a time to be with their family member also.
Plus here in America, we go where the work is. So let's say Houston is your hometown, but your work takes you to another state. That's
they're all over.
and US is so huge. So
So
it's helpful to be able to get together.
So in a way, this is the way I looked at the pandemic. It actually changed our everyday lives, because now there's a lot of people who work from home. So it actually helps them as well. So I think it's a good benefit of it. But let's go back to what she was asking you. So are you aware of there's something similar in the Philippines to what your company does?
So I actually have family back home, and we were talking about this, and I know that there are some that's starting this type of healthcare, and I haven't met anyone yet, myself personally, that started it. But I've heard that it's getting started as far as home care, nursing care at home.
So you never know. You might expand there.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice.
Could you bring, if they are on Medicare in the U.S., can you bring the services outside of the country?
Unfortunately, you would not be able to do that. Yeah.
I'll stay. When the time comes, then I'll stay.
The Medicare provide Medicare services in the Philippines.
But you know what? Since you brought that up, I found out that our medical coverage is accepted at 2 hospitals in Manila.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
I found out because I have a friend so I work at MD Anderson, right? So I have a friend who was a nurse at MD Anderson for many, many years. And when she retired in Laguna, outside Manila. And so I told her before she left, we had a going away party. I said, you just had knee replacement surgery. So what are you going to do? How are you going to do all of this? And she told me that there's 2 hospitals there that take our insurance directly.
Wow, that's great.
Ah.
So I said, "Oh, hey, when I retire, my medical coverage goes with me.
Yeah.
If anything happened, God forbid, while I'm over there, I know I can go to the hospital and get taken care of."
That's great. That's great.
And so let's go ahead and take another break, and we will come back and talk some more with Zedrick.
Great. Thank you.
And
We're back.
And if you would like to leave us a question, you can actually put a comment in there on Facebook, or there on YouTube, or on the Lawin Media page. You can actually leave a comment. If you have any questions, just go ahead and type it in, and we will try to answer them in real time. And so we're back here with Zedrick and enjoying this conversation. It's because I've been in healthcare too for 30 years.
Yeah, let's hear about mercury.
It ties in because she said mercury is what do you call
Clinical
it?
research.
Clinical research, medical
research.
research, and it's very important. Well, specifically because
MD Anderson.
Anderson.
Yeah.
Medical research is really important because it's how you develop new treatment modalities and new medications. And so tell us about mercury.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you need some guinea pigs, the two
Oh,
of
no,
us.
we're not. I think we're past the there's age guidelines.
For
There are
seniors.
some studies
So
that
for
require.
seniors,
require-
okay.
yeah.
I do have a senior card in the Philippines.
Yeah.
I'm admitting the fact that I'm a senior.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mercury, and thank you for I guess bringing it up with MD Anderson. You're very familiar with the research. So we do clinical research, clinical trials, and through really all indications in the healthcare field. Right now we're working with pediatrics, and so pediatrics, but we also go all the way up to geriatric population. So we have plenty of COPD studies, asthma studies, and CNS actually, and going back to what you're saying, just new treatments. It's not just new treatments, but for example, Alzheimer's, there are no treatments, or very ineffective treatments.
You're just mitigating symptoms.
So, right, exactly. And even in the oncology world, I mean, it's a lot of things right now is mitigating symptoms, and but because of technology right now, because of just the cutting edge of genome technology, and just creating the medication, creating the drug itself, and even AI is a big player in all this. The specificness of being able to attack different diseases is just getting better and better. So that's what we do. So we work with big pharma. We work with all the pharmaceutical companies, or majority of the big pharmaceutical companies, and we partner with them to actually identify patients, so recruit patients and enroll patients into various studies. So whether it's, like I said earlier, pediatrics with vaccines, all the way to geriatric population for Alzheimer's or dementia, or COPD and whatnot. So
How do you disseminate the information? Let's say you're looking for this age group.
Yeah. So depending on every study, before we get a study, we have to make sure that we know we have a population, and we're able to identify that population. So we work with different clinics throughout. Right now, we're in the greater Houston area. But research is globally. So and it needs to be globally because you have to get a good sample size population.
Exactly. I was going to
So-
say you need a good sample size.
Exactly. So we may be doing a study for, let's say, Alzheimer's, but we are one site globally of, let's say, 100 sites, and they're all spread out literally in all
Okay.
corners of the world. And so they select us because we have that specific population they're looking for. So, and Houston's actually a good melting pot. Obviously,
Oh, yeah.
here being in Houston, we have all different types of cultures, all different types of people. So we have that population. So we provide that. What we have, we say, well, we have access for this type of population, this many individuals, and we are awarded that study or awarded that site, or being one of those sites, one of the 100, let's say. So that's how we get awarded, and then we identify the patients because we have partnerships with physicians, clinics all over Houston.
So the study review, is that developed by the pharmaceutical company?
Yes.
So each of the big pharmaceutical companies has their own studies.
Right. Their
And then they
protocol.
look for participants for these studies, and then they reach out to you.
Correct. Yes.
And then again, we bringing this up again. So demographics wise, are you able to bring a diverse group of people?
Yeah, that's actually
patients?
that's actually what we strive for, and that's actually one of the strong suits that we have. So whenever we pitch to the pharmaceutical firm or company, we let them know, hey, we have this patient population, and it's a diverse population. This is what you are looking for, and we have it. So that's definitely one of the strong suits that we have.
So you don't do the screening. You don't do the study development. You just
No, we
provide-
follow. Yes. So we follow the protocol that's provided by them, and so we follow the protocol to the T. And basically,
Oh, you have to.
that's yeah, and you understand that.
But do you have an exclusivity with the pharmaceutical company, or?
Yeah. So we have well, no, not exclusivity. Like
So
we can
you
only
can-
work with them. We can work
Okay,
with
you can-
everybody. Yeah.
okay.
So we just have specific contracts individually for the pharmaceutical company, depending on the study that we're working on.
So the overhead is handled by the pharmaceutical company, consents.
Yes.
And all of that.
Yes.
They do it. They give you the
They
forms.
give it to
and-
us,
Okay.
and then we handle it.
They
So-
just provide the guinea pigs?
Yeah, pretty
Don't
much.
call them guinea pigs, call them participants.
They're participants to
Participants.
advance medicine.
Yeah. So
but but you have a good point, because we're the ones that do that, and the reason for that is because there has to have some independence. So you can't have, for example, Pfizer being the one that's conducting the trials for Pfizer, because
Yeah.
if that's the case, then all of Pfizer's drugs are going to be great.
yeah, and then
So you have to have some independence.
I'm trying to think
So-
of the term. You're doing double-blind randomized
Right.
studies is what
Correct.
you're doing, right?
Correct. Well, some of them are double blind, some are single blind. It just
Okay.
depends on
Okay.
the studies. Yeah.
Depends on it.
Yeah.
And so what I was going to bring up, that's why I brought up demographics, is I was speaking with a cardiologist a few years ago.
Mhm.
So we have a lot of studies on the heart and arteries and heart attacks and whatever. He told me that Asian coronary arteries are narrower.
Uh-huh.
And so we are more prone to heart
Heart
disease.
disease.
I never knew that. I was just, and then I used to work for one of the doctors at MD Anderson, who is an osteoporosis expert.
Mhm.
And he told me the studies on bone densities do not include a lot of Asians. And so they're looking for more
More
Asians
Asian.
to broaden the data set.
Spectrum, yeah.
And so that's why I had to ask,
Yeah.
because I think it's important
It's very important.
that we have representation
Correct.
in any studies.
Correct. Yes, exactly. And that goes for every single indication in the medical world. You have to have a broad indication, especially here in America, because here in America, you have so much diversity over here.
No,
Yeah.
you brought it up about Asians having narrower. That's
Narrower.
why narrower. That's why stenosis. I've
Yes,
heard that a lot.
I know the term too.
Arterial stenosis.
Uh-huh.
I've learned that a lot too.
Yes,
Yeah.
arterial stenosis. And of course, we love our lechon, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Unfortunately, that's
That's what clogs the.
and as Asians or other culture, other races have different genetic makeup. But at the end of the day, eating healthier is gonna keep the doctor away, and I guess that if you want, we can transition to Buhay Health and Wellness, and
So I think we have a few more minutes. I think
Do we?
so. Let's go ahead. Let's go
Okay.
ahead and do it.
Okay,
Let's
so
go.
just I guess real quick, and that's kind of why I founded Buhay Health and Wellness is because I have my own initial, I guess, internal want to be healthier, and other ways.
Should we tell them you're an Iron Man?
Yeah,
he's an Iron Man.
That I definitely was a great one of my better feats that I've done. So and unfortunately the back is.
He's also got an iron rod.
I do have an iron rod in my back right now, so I haven't been able to do much more after that. But hopefully that'll change soon.
So Buhay Health and Wellness is a separate entity.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. That's actually within the Mercury.
Within Mercury
umbrella. It's just a separate entity. But no, I think we definitely want to. I want to be able to help in the wellness side as well. So that's kind of why I wanted to do Buhay Health and Wellness, and then because I have the experience on the home health side, being able to be mobile and whatnot.
So helping them. Well, in my case, I'm familiar with cancer. So you're on the prevention side.
Exactly.
Instead of taking care of a sick patient, you're going to help them early on.
As we age, our mitochondrial cells, deplete, and it does not replicate fast enough. So being able to have compounds like NAD that bring up your ATP, and I know I'm saying a lot of things that maybe people aren't. You understand. So basically, your mitochondrial cell, which is your basic building blocks of our human body, and at the end of the day, being able to absorb nutrients or compounds that help with the production of mitochondria and then the ATP is going to help bring us back to be able to heal faster or avoid disease and whatnot. So that's the preventative side, and I think that's very, very important.
Well, I know it's important because my experience with a cancer hospital, prevention. We push prevention,
right?
Because we'd rather not have them come in sick,
right.
And then so. I don't know if you realize Buhay Health and Wellness, Buhay is life. So you're providing life, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I didn't know that until no, I'm just kidding.
Longer life.
Longer life is prolonging life.
Exactly.
But anyway, this has been very interesting.
Yeah.
And
always glad to be over here.
It's always a joy to talk with you and learn more about what you do. I've known you for many years.
Yeah.
We kind of not really dug deep into
what you do.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Just said hi and just catch up, and I'm really not too deep.
So we do have comments that we can read. So from Roland Castor, he says, "Awesome."
Thank you, Roland.
And Mr. Florencio Ginhawa says, "Great topic."
Hi, Tito Flor.
Hi, Tito Flor. Are you interested in home health care?
I don't think he needs
Tito
it
Flor
yet.
is definitely very too active. For
Roland says, "Benefited from hospice care for both of my parents in their last years together. Thank you very much to our caregivers."
Yes,
shout out to
nurses.
caregivers.
Yes,
Nurses,
absolutely.
caregivers.
They are really the best.
And the caring ones are always Filipino. Did I just say that out loud? Yes.
Yes.
So thank you again. And we will close out the show with you in it. We just want to remind people that our chamber has ongoing events, and we'd like to remind you that we do have our monthly speaker series with topics that delve into issues that affect small business, but we also deal with professionals. So contrary to popular belief, we also work with professionals, not just businesses. We deal with everybody who wants to learn more. And
about relevant topics.
Yes, and then we have a BizMix that's going to be planned in the next couple of months.
Yes.
Can you tell them what BizMix is?
The BizMix is our mixer where all of our members and would-be members and friends are invited to join us and network. And
it's a mixer.
Yeah.
And we always
mix and drink.
Yeah, food and drink. Of course, we can't be Filipinos without food and drink, right?
Have to.
And I'm going to ask you, how do they get in contact with
Yes.
IPR?
Website?
Yeah, website. All our contact information is on there, www.iprhealthcare.com. And then for research, it's mercurycr.us.com. That's mercurycr.us.com. And then Buhay Health and Wellness is buhayhw.com.
Buhay. Yeah. But what we'll do when this video is posted, we will put all those links on there as well.
The links will be provided.
Yeah.
So there goes another episode of Biztalk.
That went so fast.
That was fast. I know. So thank you for watching, and we will see you in 2 weeks. And so on behalf of the PACC-TXGHR, this is Bobby Reyes.
And we would like to thank our Lawin Media staff for making us look good.
Yes,
Salamat
thank you.
po sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa Pilipinas.
Yes.
Hanggang
yes.
sa susunod.
Good night
Bye.
and
Good night.
good morning.